Hello and welcome to FreeFlight. Tonight we're going to be talking about a part of the system that's actually been around for around about 8 years. Originally developed for my home club for an experiment in bookable two-seater training. In actual fact, the experiment was quite short-lived. It only lasted about a season. But the code's been lurking around ever since that time. Just nobody's ever used it, and I've never particularly pushed it. I was recently asked, however, by one club to see if there's anything we could do to help manage the airfield as the club started to come out of lockdown, where there was a necessity, obviously, to maintain social distancing, to ensure that the airfield didn't get overrun with dozens of bodies all looking to try and fly and get current again. So I gave it some thought, made a few modifications, and what we have now is quite a usable system. Not just for the current extraordinary times that we find ourselves living through, but it also opens up incredible opportunities for us to streamline our training for the future. It has been a long-held belief of mine that it's absolutely insane and totally unrealistic to expect this new young generation to hang around a cold, windy, often muddy airfield for an entire day, waiting around for 1 or 2 flights. If you think about the way we are being forced to manage our airfields at the moment, what is wrong in the future in organising our training so that 2 or 3 people come in the morning for say a 4-hour slot and 2 or 3 people in the afternoon for a 4-hour slot. The morning lot crew are responsible for getting the aircraft out of the hangars, etc., and the afternoon crew are responsible for putting them away. It seems totally logical to me. Anyway, that's my rant over. So without further ado, let's pop over and have a look at the training supervisor's role. Admins will be familiar with the left-hand menu. You may even seen this option lurking around in here and wondered what on earth it was for. Well, now you're going to find out. So here you can see we have a scheme set up. It's called C19 Restart, and this particular scheme is intended to invite all the solo pilots onto it so that they can get current again quickly and toddle off into the wild blue yonder in their own personal private aircraft, or the club solo aircraft. So now I'm just going to click the edit button and show you how it's constructed. So we have the scheme name, we have the date we want the scheme to start on, and on the opposite side we have the date that we want the scheme to finish, in this case 31st of May. We have a special book ahead days here, which means that's the opening gate. So if it's 31 days, a member won't be able to book onto the scheme, but on the 30th day then the gate will open and people will be able to book onto the scheme. On the other side we have a thing called the book ahead delay. Now this is designed to stop people hogging all of the available slots. So once a person's made a booking onto the scheme, they won't be able to make another booking until 2 days after their first booking is has completed. Now that bookhead days is expandable or optional. You can set it to 0, in which case the system won't care. It will just let pilots grab every available slot under the sun. So it's just a protection to give everybody a fair crack at the whip, really. So participation in the scheme is by invitation, and here is the option to add members to the scheme. Now in this particular scheme, in real life, invitation is to the solo pilots only. You could set up a second scheme to start later to invite the 2-seater pilots back to resume the training. On this particular demo, I think just everybody in the club's on there because I did it for speed in order to set the video up. But you click on the add members, you do the usual selection from the grid of the people you want to invite on, and click continue, and then they appear in here. In this case we've got about I don't know, 70 something members on the scheme. You could, for example, set up a scheme for field landing or cross-country training for those pilots who are who've got bronze and are going after their cross-country endorsement. That's just another option off the top of my head. Further down is where we set up the sessions, and in this particular case there are going to be 2 sessions each day, Monday through to Sunday, one at 9 o'clock and one at 1 o'clock. and that's going to be repeated for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Again, it's entirely up to you how many sessions you set up. You can set up them for Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Sundays, whatever. It's entirely up to you. So we'll click the edit button and we'll go and take a closer look at what's actually set up for an individual session. So here you see we give it a bit more information. We have the day, the Monday. The session start date must be a Monday, otherwise you get an error message up. We have the start time, 9 o'clock. We have the duration. In this case it's going to be 4 hours, so that's 9 till 1. And then just underneath that we have available places. So this means we're going to be inviting 4 members to book onto an individual session, morning or afternoon, and we're going to repeat that for every day of the week. So then when you've created all your sessions, you simply go to the top and you click on the button that says create all slots, and that would immediately go and create all the calendar slots for each of those sessions on each of the Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays from the start date to the end date. So that's from the 12th of April in this case to the 31st of May. So you can set a complete scheme up for as many months as you want, for between 15 and 20 minutes, probably a little faster when you get used to it. So once everything's set up, we can within the supervisor's role we can go and review the calendar and see how it looks. And you can see here we've got all the slots generated for us. There are 2 colours here. There's the very light, the very heavy blue there, and the nice royal blue, which is an indication that it was originally empty, somebody's booked on, but then they've cancelled the booking. If you click on it, you could then go in and you can book your slot. You can then close out of it. You see your name appears at the bottom. You just click on the home. That's a slight bug I need to get rid of, and go back into the calendar, and you'll see that it's now turned green. Now the colour scheme is a visual clue so that people can easily see. Green means that the slot is partially booked, there's somebody on it. When it's 3 places or 2 places, it'll be green. When it gets down to 1 place, it will turn to amber, which is a warning that the slot is nearly full. When it goes to red, that means it's fully booked, and if anybody tries to click on it, they'll get a warning message. That strange grey blue colour just means that it's a virgin slot. Nobody's tried to book on it yet. The royal blue, as I said, means that somebody's actually booked on it once, but then they've cancelled the booking and it's gone back to 4 places available. You'll notice that it says in the text how many places are available for that session. So let's quickly go and take a look at what the member sees. You'll notice at the top there in the tab section, there's another tab appeared that says bookable slots. Now if the member is not invited onto a scheme, that tab will be invisible, they won't be able to see it. So you can click on the bookable slots and you can go, the member will go and have a look at the slots and decide when he wants to come, and again just click on it. Now if I try and click on it, it will tell me to clear off, because the book ahead delay will pop into place, and it will say I can't book anything yet. So there you go. So everything is protected. So now, as if by magic, I've just logged on as somebody else. I'm going to quickly go back and show you that how easy it is for members to book in. 3 places available. Click on it, book in. You see your name appears in the list. Close it down and you're back to the normal screen. If you want to verify, obviously you have to go back into bookable slots and go and have a look. Now it says 2 places available, and that's really it. It's really quite easy to set up, it's quite easy to manage. The people who are booked in on a given day, their names will appear on the tab at the launch point. Once again, the book ahead delay kicks in and I can't book any further slots. For those of you who are using the Duty Cruise module, obviously you can use this in conjunction with the request for volunteers, and so if I booked in, say, a morning session, rather than go home in the afternoon, I can volunteer for one of the spare slots that are required to be filled. If you're not using Duty Cruise, it's been a while since we sent the request for comments out, but it is live and it is in use at a number of clubs. Call me to book your personal training session. So I'm going to flip through the days to the 12th, but suffice to say that having volunteered for a duty slot, then all of the other facilities of the duty system kick in. So I'll get the reminder emails on time, I'll be able to arrange a swap if I suddenly find I can't do the day. It's as if I've been assigned that duty for that day in every respect. Again, if you've not seen the Duty Cruise in action, please call me, because you're missing out on a great part of the system here. So before I wrap up this video, I just want to show you what all of this looks like in the mobile view. I need a quick explanation. It's been a fact for a while that whilst many mobile phones work absolutely fine, and if you log in on a mobile phone using the same URL you would on a desktop, then you would get straight to the mobile screens. Unfortunately, some mobile phones don't play nicely, and what you tend to end up with is a screen that is the kind of, well, it is this screen, but it's all squashed up onto a very tiny mobile phone screen, and you can't see diddly squat. So at the top of the left hand menu, there's now a new item that says mobile view, and clicking on it, whatever device you're on will take you to the mobile screens. And from here you'll see you've got a tab for the volunteers needed, so people can look on their mobile phones and volunteer for a duty quite easily. And you've also got the training slots scheme. So the thing about most mobile phones is that the screen real estate is really at a premium. So if you open up in the week view, for instance, you don't get much of a view for each of the days. So there's a number of things you can do. You can change the selection from week to day, and then you can use the arrow to go backwards and forwards to search for the days where you want to slot. Or if you know the days that you can work, you can select the calendar and pick a day off the calendar, and it will go straight to it. And there you go, there's our two slots that we set up before. And from there, as a mobile phone user, I can book a slot, I can cancel my slot, I can see who else is coming, to see if I can pick a day with all my mates on it. And yeah, and that's it, and that's all good. And I've overshot my 10-minute target, so I'm going to close this down now. If you need further help or advice, do call me. Obviously time is of the essence if anybody wants to get this going for April the 12th. And I don't normally do this, and it's not something I want to make a habit of. And as you've seen, it is relatively easy to set all of these things up. But if anybody wants me to set them up for them, ready for April the 12th, in this one instance I'm available to do it, but unfortunately it's going to cost £50 per club for my time. But I don't want to do it. It's easy to set up. Have a go yourselves. At last resort, call me and I'll sort it out for you. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and speak to you all very, very soon.